Lately, I've been feeling kind of dead. I've been struggling to get out of bed. I've been dragging my feet to work. I'm just always tired, and any excitement I have just kind of decays. So I did what any well adjusted, grown up adult would do. I played a bunch of games. Spoiler alert, didn't really solve my problems, but it did bring up some questions and took me on a bit of an introspective journey. Come on, I'll show you.
Even when I was above ground, I wasn't satisfied. Why can't I be happy? Am I busted?
Last year I was hanging out with my cousin and he turned to me and he asked me, Josh, are you happy? I said, yeah, of course. I started playing League with my friends recently and it's the most fun I've had in a while, messing around, learning the game, the champions, the fundamentals. And I'd be distracted all day thinking about playing League with my friends. But as I was saying this, there was still something bugging me in the back of my mind. Because while it was true that I was having the time of my life playing games with my friends, I was still feeling like shit outside of those times. Because of that tiny little person in my brain that tells me everything is terrible. But when I'm playing, I don't hear that person. So I keep playing to run from him. But then I finish playing and I turn my computer off and oh, there he is again. Well, sometimes he creeps up on me while I'm playing and I start to think, exploring feels like a bit of a chore. I can't slide through crevices yet, but I have to explore every corner so I don't miss anything.
Oh, I can slide now.
But now I need to backtrack. That's part of the fun, you goose. Or, I don't even want to fight anymore. I just want to let my troops run in and do all the work for me. That's part of the fun, you goose. What's wrong with me? Is my brain broken? Am I broken? I think there's a bit of an obvious answer here. But I'm having some trouble saying that I may be a bit depressed. Yeah. Why is it so hard for me to say this? Is it shame? Am I afraid to confront my own feelings? Do I feel guilty saying that I'm depressed because I was having fun just yesterday? Or am I afraid to say I'm not doing okay because all the people I knew from church or my parents would say, see, I told you have to rely on God. You can't rely on yourself. See, you should have left the church. We all have a God.
And I was dragged down upon me with
rage
and furious anger, standing against the poison and destroying.
Shut the fuck up! Everybody shut the fuck up! Disclaimer, by the way, nothing against Christianity. Something against culty churches, which I have been a part of before. Anyway, I always tell my friends their feelings are valid. But why can't I accept that my feelings are valid? Why do I gatekeep my own depression? Even now, I want to avoid the term depression and say that I'm feeling depressed or experiencing ennui, or say that it's not depression, it's just my life circumstances. Is it? Let's zoom out. Earlier, I said I was dragging my feet to work. Maybe there's something there. 5 days out of the week, I go to work, and by the time I come home, I'm tired from the day and my commute. And I'm just trying to get to the weekend. Get to the weekend, and I'm trying to catch up on sleep. Maybe I get lunch with a friend or something. And then I start the cycle all over again. Why am I subjecting myself to this cycle? Well, I need to get money to pay my bills and get groceries and pay rent. So I go to work, I get money, I pay rent. I go to work, I get money, I pay rent. I work, I get money, I pay rent. Eventually I retire. Is this the kind of life I want to live? I'm living a toothless life. A toothless life. I've not bitten into very much. I'm waiting. I'm reserving myself for later on. And for what? The economy? So I work in science, and I was working with a postdoctoral scholar once, who's higher up than me, and she asked me if I could do everything all over again, what career would I choose? And I thought to myself, no wrong answers, right? So I said, I think I would like to be a Twitch streamer, play games all day, that sounds like fun. I asked her, so what would you do if you could do it all over again? And she said, I would pick science every time. And that's when I learned that there were wrong answers and Twitch streamer was the wrong answer. So I've been asking that question to my friends, and when they ask it back, I always say Twitch streamer as a joke or as a kind of a pipe dream. And more than once now, I've been asked, why not just try it? And I thought about it, and one of the things that was holding me back was this idea that it's still work. I can't just quit my job and play games and have fun on stream and expect everything to come to me. I have to edit clips, I have to post on YouTube and TikTok, look at analytics, network, all while juggling my actual job. In the end, I'm doing the same thing I've been doing my entire adult life. I'm still begging for money. So maybe I'm not broken. Maybe my life trajectory is just fucked. But I look around and I see so many people with similar feelings going through the same thing, and they're all just trying to escape this rat race. People pursuing art, dance, acting, game development, streaming, YouTubing. Just some career switch or side hustle to break free from their ennui or find some meaning in their lives. So it's not just me then. Maybe it's not my life that's fucked. Maybe it's the world that's fucked. Let's roll. Okay, 1, 2, 3. It's a grand old flag, a high flying flag, and forever in peace may you reign. It just feels so hopeless sometimes. And I think a lot of people are feeling this way. Because the system isn't working for us. We're underpaid and overworked. The healthcare system will bankrupt you. And the justice system only works for the rich and powerful. And oh yeah, no homo. As in no homeowners in my generation. And also no homo. So you have all these people suffering, and a meaningful way to deal with these issues is through policy. So naturally people look to our elected leaders. And what are they doing? Now, I'm not saying that there aren't any helpful policies, but it's just frustrating when our leaders prioritize their legacies and their rich donors over their constituents. Leading up to the 2024 election, Biden refused to drop out and allow a proper Democratic primary to take place, despite his mental state and his internal polling showing that he was going to lose terribly. When Biden did eventually drop out of the race and Kamala became the nominee, I was hopeful that there could be some momentum towards positive change, given her stances during the 2020 Democratic primary. But instead, we started seeing her backtrack on Medicare for all. She refused an Israel arms embargo. When asked what she would do differently from Biden, she said she wouldn't do anything differently.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
And then when she realized that was a bad answer, she backtracked, as if she would have a Republican in her cabinet.
You asked me what's the difference between Joe Biden and me. Well, that will be one of the differences. I'm going to have a Republican in my cabinet.
Because they care more about the millionaire donors than their actual voter base. And they absolutely throw the election. Soon after, the talking heads of the DNC are talking about how her campaign was too far left. Huh? Now we have Trump in power again, who's rolled back efforts to lower prescription drug prices, is trying to kill the First Amendment, enact a dystopian deportation program, and tariff everybody, which raises prices. Trump said so himself. We also have actual Nazi Elon Musk pulling the strings, looting Social Security, Medicaid, the Department of Education, and more, so he can funnel the money to his own companies and give tax cuts to the rich. And it's not like I can just turn off the news, because Trump and Elon are gutting the NIH, which funds cancer research, which is what I do. So now I'm here thinking of contingency plans like, if I get laid off, I'll beg for lower pay and less hours so I can keep my job. God damn, shit is ass, man. So we have a bunch of elites hoarding wealth and power, building up their empires, and whatever we do, we can never touch them or affect change in a meaningful way to break out of our struggle. Because they don't care about us. But don't worry, our best Democrats are on the case.
It's their government. What leverage do we have?
We will win. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't.
Alright, get a shot of me wrapping this tiny burrito, thus signifying that I put too much shit in this video. Wow, what an adventure. Now let's backtrack and see if we can tie up all those loose ends we left behind. Is the world fucked? Yes. Am I living a toothless life? Come back. Okay, so the world is on fire a bit, and it's kind of killing the vibe. So how am I dealing with it? Well, I'm trying to get more informed about local politics to push for change on a smaller scale, and I love me some public transport infrastructure. And I'm trying to be more proactive about emailing my representatives in the House and the Senate. I'm also huffing a shitload of copium. Oh, you want some? Stung. Well, I think people are becoming more aware that the Democratic Party is inept and needs to be completely rebuilt or completely replaced. Oh, more? Okay. Well, if you want hopium, humans are resilient. People are speaking out and fighting in whatever way they can, and seeing that unbreakable spirit gives me hope and warms my heart. On an individual level, I'm trying to stop doom scrolling. I know, I'm not doing too well at that, you don't have to tell me. I'm also trying not to give in to cynicism and keep recycling or whatever. But guys, I'm just one person, okay? It's a team effort. I need you guys to lock in, okay? Lock in. Can't let these fucking billionaires trickle on us. And I know it's tempting to blame all this on the people who voted for Trump, which is fair enough. But just know that there are people who voted for Trump who are struggling in this system that we live in and genuinely thought that Trump would help. So all you normal people who voted for Trump or Kamala or who didn't vote at all, just know you have more in common with each other than any of the oligarchs running this country into the ground, okay? So, am I living a toothless life? Well, what does it mean to live a toothful life? Is it having a meaningful career? Well, it's not like I have a shit job. I have a good job contributing to meaningful medical research. But it's not like fun or whatever. It's not like, yeah, science, bitch. Is it traveling the world and filling up a bucket list? Well, for me it isn't. And I don't have any lofty goals of getting a Nobel Peace Prize or becoming famous or whatever. So what do I want then? I don't know. Right now I'm just trying to survive. Cancer research funding getting cut and all that. I guess I just don't want to be under the thumb of my employer or the government or the church. I just want to be free. So there's no way that gets resolved neatly in a short 10 to 15 minute video. So let's file that under hopefully get solved in the future. So that aside, I guess I just want to live a normal life. But I do live a normal life. So is this my toothful life then? What I have now? But just the weekday evenings and weekends? Doesn't exactly feel that way. Maybe there are just some shitty parts in my life that cloud the good parts. So maybe the key here is to be more present with the things in my life that bring me joy. And absent when I'm at work. Okay. So what brings me joy? Well, recently I applied for PhD programs. I didn't get in, but I was informed via a rejection email that I was carefully considered. And I was excited about all the different types of research I could dive into. I tried streaming on Twitch. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to do that. But even if I don't, it's still success because I went for it. I'm also making this video, which has allowed me to express myself in a new way. And it's also been quite a cathartic experience. I also enjoy cooking good food, eating good food, experimenting with cooking, and I enjoy hanging out with my friends. So taking common themes from these highlights, it seems that the toothfulness I'm searching for is growth, expression, and human connection. So am I living a toothless life? Yeah, well, maybe a bit. But I still have my teeth. Am I broken? Okay, broken is a bit dramatic. I'm not broken. At most, subclinical depression. But how am I dealing with it? Well, not to be too much of a Deborah Downman, but with mental health stuff, this shit just keeps coming in waves. Sometimes I'm fine, and sometimes I start getting anxious about something, or I start feeling depressed, and it's like I'm sitting at a crossroads or a fork in the road, and I have to find the joy in my life or fall into despair. But I look out in front of me, and each fork leads to another fork, and another fork, and another fork, like an endless fractal of crossroads. And I have to choose joy or despair, or joy, or despair, or joy, or despair. But I heard it gets easier, but you have to do it every day. That's the hard part. And I'm thankful that I have people in my life that make this journey a bit smoother and so beautiful. Like my roommates, my friends, my girlfriend, And if you're watching this, you're part of my journey as well. And hopefully, I'm a part of yours. Maybe you're at a crossroads yourself, but you don't have to pick a path just yet. You could take a moment here with me and just breathe. And that's a fucking rat bitch.